before psychology became a science, before the brain was scanned and behavior was measured, there were questions, big questions. Who am I? What is the mind? Is my behavior mine or determined by something else? To answer these, we must look not at labs, but at philosophy, the soil from which modern psychology grew. It all began over 2,000 years ago in the dusty courtyards of Athens, where Socrates asked people not what they knew, but how they knew it. Socrates focused on introspection, asking people to examine their thoughts and beliefs. Though he never wrote anything himself, he developed the famous Socrates method, or collaborative approach. In this method, he encouraged people to break down a problem into a series of questions and find answers to individual questions. And this was the beginning of therapy as we know it. Plato, Socrates' student, laid groundwork for the study of human psyche and the understanding of human behavior. In his work, the Phaedo, Plato explores the immortality of the soul, laying the foundation for modern psychology. Today's psychology is dominated by discussions of rationality, morality, and self-actualization, which are topics highly emphasized in Plato's work, The Republic. But then came Aristotle, grounding thought in the observable world. In his work On the Soul, Aristotle explores perception, thought, and memory as functions of the soul, mind. According to him, every living organism is a result of the balance of form and matter, classifying the soul as a living thing inseparable from the body. His view on human mind as a blank slate laid groundwork for psychology of the mind. Sound familiar? That debate, nature versus nurture, still echoes today. Then came the Enlightenment movement. In the 17th and 18th centuries, debate on source of knowledge saw the rise of Rationalism and Empiricism, two contrasting philosophical approaches to knowledge. These two schools of knowledge developed the modern cognitive psychology. Rationalism, as represented by René Descartes, Baruch Spinoza, and Gottfried Leibniz, argued that knowledge arises from reason, logic, and innate ideas, and not sensory experience. According to rationalists, humans are born with pre-existing cognitive structures, and mathematical and ethical principles can be understood by reason alone. René Descartes' famous dictum, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am, placed thought at the center of being. Empiricism, as advocated by John Locke, George Berkeley, and David Hume, contends that knowledge comes solely through sensory experience and not innate ideas or reason. According to empiricists, human primary senses, i.e., touch, sight, hearing, smell, and taste, are the primary sources of knowledge. John Locke suggested that humans are born with a clean slate of mind without any intuition, reason, or innate ideas, emphasizing that knowledge is acquired through experience. Immanuel Kant bridged the gap. Immanuel Kant attempted to reconcile rationalism and empiricism. He argued that while all knowledge begins with experience, it does not arise solely from experience. In his work, Critique of Pure Reason, Kant explores the structures and functions of the human mind, concluding that the mind plays a vital role in shaping experience. In the famous Transcendental Idealism theory, Kant introduces a new conceptual idea that humans can only experience the world as it appears to them, and not as it is in itself. Kant's ideas contributed largely to the development of cognitive psychology and neuroscience. But what about the self, meaning of life, suffering, and the individual? These deep questions birthed existentialism and phenomenology. In the 19th and 20th centuries, a new philosophical focus emerged on subjectivity, freedom, and meaning. The rise of phenomenology brought new insights in the world of experience, while existentialism enhanced deep focus on life and existence. Both philosophies are highly instrumental in shaping modern therapeutic psychology. Søren Kierkegaard and Friedrich Nietzsche introduced existential questions about anxiety, despair, individuality, and the search for meaning, core concerns in existential psychology and humanistic therapy. Edmund Husserl, the founder of phenomenology, sought to study conscious experience as it is lived. He rejected the objectivism of science in favor of describing phenomena from a first-person perspective. Martin Heidegger and Jean-Paul Sartre extended this line of thought by emphasizing human existence as a process of becoming, grounded in choice, responsibility, freedom, and temporality. These philosophical movements inspired psychologists like Rollo May and Viktor Frankl, who explored existential themes in therapy and psychological well-being. In the 18th and 19th century Britain, Associationism and utilitarianism philosophies emerged. According to Associationism, understanding and mental processes are formed through combination of simpler ideas to form complex ideas. Associationism gained traction through thinkers like David Hartley, James Mill, and John Stuart Mill. Their ideas had heavy influence in structuralism, the first school of psychology. Utilitarianism is an ethical theory that aims to produce the greatest good for the greatest number of people. According to utilitarianism, the consequences of an action determine its morality. This theory has been used in ethical framework to evaluate human behavior and interventions. From philosophy came development of scientific psychology. Development of experimental methods contributed to the migration of psychology from the books to laboratory. German psychologist and philosopher Wilhelm Wundt is often considered the father of modern psychology. He established the first psychology laboratory in 1879 at the University of Leipzig. Wundt was deeply influenced by German philosophical traditions, including Kant and Leibniz. His work sought to apply experimental methods to study consciousness, not just as an inner working of the mind, but also as an observable behavior. His work is highly instrumental in behavioral psychology. Across the ocean, William James developed functionalism. Influenced by pragmatism, he asked not just what the mind is, but what it does, and how does it help us survive, adapt, and grow. From philosophy came structure. From philosophy came function. Today, psychology is vast, cognitive, behavioral, humanistic, biological, structural. It studies everything from neurons to dreams. Psychology did not emerge from a vacuum. It is the child of philosophy, born from millennia of speculation, debate, and exploration about the human condition. From Plato's theory of the soul to Kant's categories of perception, from Descartes' dualism to Nietzsche's existential angst, philosophy has deeply shaped how we understand the mind. As psychology evolves with neuroscience and artificial intelligence, its philosophical foundations remain not only relevant, but essential. They remind us that behind the statistics and brain scans lies an enduring question. What does it mean to be human? Psychology is not just a science, it's a continuation of humanity's oldest quest to understand ourselves, and philosophy is where it all began. Know thyself. Socrates. Subscribe for more deep dives into the mind, the self, and the mysteries in between. Bye-bye.